These mics are kind of directional, so. We'll call the meeting to order.
Shanda don't have. Let me go to that one. I'll share.
There you go, Kendall.
Oh.
Must be over there on the table.
Oh, it is. It's on the table. Okay.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. First order of business is to elect the president and vice president for the year. I wish everybody was here, but unfortunately, it's just going to be us four.
Okay.
Any nominations?
Well, I nominate you.
Okay. Anybody want to second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
You want to be vice president, Shanda? That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
I'll nominate Shanda for vice president.
All right. I'll second that nomination. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next thing is the minutes. Give everybody a minute to read through the minutes. This is from October 9th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for October the 9th, 2025. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. The fee schedule that we have, I think it's still good enough. You guys just want to leave that in place for 2026. I didn't bring one tonight, but we can table it for another meeting if you don't want to keep it. I mean, I think we just updated it back on October and changed it to the 1,500 square feet, you know, so. We can wait.
I mean, I thought last time when we was talking about it, it was
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to just leave the 2025 fee schedule in place for 2026?
I'll make a motion.
All right.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll just update the date at the top of that, Becky. The unsafe building. I think me and Chris talked about that. The gas station didn't quite finish what their bargain was up there. They never backfilled it, and they're still part of the concrete up there, and the fence is still up there. And Chris was asking me what we should do, if we should move forward, and I thought I'd talk to you guys about that first to see, you know, I mean,
I think we should move forward because they have been dragging their feet in a lot of instances, and unfortunately, sometimes the only recourse you have is moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we should move forward on that.
It's been sitting that way for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it took forever to even get them to clean it up.
Right.
And so it's just not going to be one of their priorities.
I ain't got it in front of me, but I think that agreement said they had to fill that into grade, and I think they chose to do it with gravel, if I remember right. And it was all supposed to be removed, and the fence took down, kind of cleaned up right there, so they didn't finish it.
When they tore that off with the roof like it is,
Yeah.
does that have to be, anything have to be done to that?
Well, no, but you would think they'd clean that up a little bit. But
Did they change their mind? They're not going to do anything there?
well, I think they are, but it's just not going to be anytime soon. I think they run into a few snags maybe with the permitting for a gas station. So,
And that's,
there's a lot, it's involved, getting the drawings and all that together for a gas station.
Oh,
It ain't
yeah.
like,
Oh, I know.
yeah,
I'm doing it right now.
yeah. It's
and I
major.
think when they realized that they couldn't just rush everything, that's when they started backing off somewhat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's taken forever for us, so I do get that. And it's just out of your hands.
Yeah.
It's just so slow.
yeah. Well, I'll have to get a hold of Lee and have him send the letter. I'm going to link him and the promises to try to finish the job up there. We had a couple more things we was looking at, the building downtown for Kathy's and the feed mill. That's right. So, I know the winter right now, I guess we could wait till spring
sure.
and give them a chance to get somebody in there to fix that.
Yeah.
If that's accepted. All right. That's what I thought too, so.
It's hard to do. That's why when you said building permits, I'm like, it's hard to do anything when it's
And it's a skull.
and
Yeah.
snow on the ground. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the snow we've had. They just stayed there. I'm glad it's gone.
I can't. I mean, I almost would just like it to freeze just one more time so my dogs wouldn't make it a muddy mess. I have to
Oh,
go back
yeah.
every day.
I think getting an update though on the building permits every time we meet's a good idea though, don't
Yeah,
you? So we
yeah.
kind of all know
Becky,
what's going on in case we need to address something
yeah, in case we've had any complaints.
or complaints.
I don't think we have we, Becky?
No complaints? That's good. That was one thing when Joe got involved in this, he wanted to make the process easier because when we first
We've
started
done
out,
that. We've done
probably
that.
probably pretty much what you're going through right now. It
Yeah.
was a long process.
Yeah, it is.
So now we've got it pretty quick to come in.
Yeah.
I think the only complaint we got is from me for sheds. So I asked, these guys building a shed over there on Elm Street. So, I thought he had one shed back there and he added on to it and it's got another shed beside it. Or it's kind of like one shed, two sheds put together, and both of them are under the footage. So then he started building another structure. It's got 6x6s, and it's pole barn style, and this shed's 2 stories. So I thought, well, and I talked to Chris about it, and Chris said, well, really, there's nothing in our ordinance that says he can't do that. So I thought, well, a shed, and there's no definition. We don't have a definition. We got an accessory building. Of course, a garage is an accessory building. So I thought maybe we ought to see, and I don't want to spend the town's money frivolously to go back and do an ordinance because it cost us hundreds of dollars to send out letters to everybody in town that we're going to change this ordinance. So it's not a light thing, but so I'm going to talk to Lee about if there are definitions or something like that, what we could do by just, if not, then we may have to go through a lengthy process to update this ordinance and include, I think we should have a definition
Of a
Can I see
shed.
the book for a second?
of a shed in here. And, myself, I don't think a shed has a foundation. I don't think shed has posts set down into the ground. I ain't saying it can't be built with posts.
Yeah.
But generally, it's something you can actually move it around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought, that may be something the definition could include. And then the size of it, now, I couldn't find anything in here limited to 144 square feet, but it is in our fee schedule. Is that not right, Becky?
That's right.
So in our fee schedule, it says there's no permit required for a shed of 144 square feet or less. But there's nothing in here that says that in the ordinance. So, and Chris said that he thinks we should change that to 120 square feet. He says that's what a lot of places are where he does inspections in Shelbyville and Trafalgar and other places.
What would be the difference in the concern? Because I thought, wasn't the concern kind of for the wind?
Well, no, you get so big you may need a little bit. The winds blow sheds over too.
Right. So what do you think, what is the concern? Is it that it would be too big
I think it's just the type of structure.
Multi-structures continuously being added on, and we've had someone across our street that had two sheds and there's two windows, But if like when I said earlier, I'm looking at something to put in our backyard, but I don't want to see somebody put 2 or 3 of them in the backyard, and stuff. So, I mean...
So, it was 12 by 12 is what it's always been, and we just never changed that. That's what it was.
I think that's a okay size. That's like a standard size.
That's a pretty good size shed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got one. That's what ours is, 12 by 12, that metal one.
I don't think we should have, we should have to require permits for a 12 by 12.
12 by 12 shed, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you guys?
Yeah.
I don't either.
If it is not attached to the ground structure, but if it's attached to the ground structure, if it's structured to in the ground, if it has a concrete base and all that kind of stuff, I think then we should have a
right, not just your standard little 12 by 12 shed. So,
So if it's outside the definition of what if you want to have. What she's saying is if you want to have a structure like 4x4s down in the ground set on, and this type of a structure, then that's not a shed anymore. That requires a permit.
That's a permanent fixture, basically. Yeah.
It may be a small, very small garage for a mower or something, I guess. Okay, so anything, we'll have that described in the definition, see if we can get Lee to come up with one. If not, we can come up with one. Probably be the easiest way. And the foundation, I think we'll describe that in the definition as well. The type of foundation you have in the shed. And then we may be, that way anything that has a foundation outside of that definition would require a permit. The size of it.
Think about when Chris and Jamie Woods had bought their shed and they brought it in. Because I don't think it has a floor, but it wasn't like a permanent.
Because it comes prefabricated like that with the floor in.
Yes. And it just got hauled to their house and dropped it off.
And that's a shed.
But it was pretty good size. I mean, he had his lawnmower and golf cart in it. It is a pretty good size shed. It's nice though. I mean,
but it's not permanently attached to the ground.
It's like just larger than 144 square feet. And some of them do require some attachments. Depends on the manufacturer what they ask you to do. Tie down or a lot of times manufacturer. I know a guy out here by the lagoon. He installs his own, I believe.
So would you need a permit for something? If I ordered a shed, you would need a permit?
Yeah, you need a permit. One reason I'd like to see people get a permit is to make sure they are meeting the setbacks. It's so far back off the property line. So
like 5 feet or something?
That way they don't wind up in easements and alleys. a smaller one's easier to move. Remember, we had a problem over here when we needed to put the sewer line in, and they wound up putting that big zigzag in it.
Yeah.
So those new houses,
So,
those sheds, I heard there was the eastway there that nobody recognized.
Yeah, so that is.
Yeah, because we had that happen in one particular instance that there, and it still is when it gets right down to it. It's up of Clark Street. There is it's a 10-foot easement that goes from Clark Street over to, I think, what is it, Sycamore?
yeah.
Okay. There's sheds all over.
All over.
Yeah.
There's sheds all over. No.
If you had to go straight through, you couldn't.
No.
Yeah, you were talking about the one behind your house?
That is a lot of alleys like that.
Because, I mean,
And it's supposed to go all the way through.
True, all the way over to now our alley from Clark going to Dill Boulevard, that's open and stuff. But the one that continues into
Clark, all the way
into
that way.
Clark to, I think that's Sycamore, they were Jason Allen lives. You couldn't get a blade of grass through there.
Right.
So they all are.
And it's not like they're little sheds that they could just.
These are big.
Yeah.
No.
These are big.
Right.
That's been there forever.
Forever.
That's kind of that 12
Yeah.
by 12.
And that's kind of why that restriction's there, to make sure those big sheds don't get put out in the easements,
That makes sense.
and then they become almost,
Right, to me, they've been there since I was little. So
Yeah.
They've been there. They've been there forever because nobody knew the boundaries back then. And if they did, they didn't really it's no big deal. That's why we are where we're at. Now, for whatever reason, our alley has been a focal point on quite a few people, and which we never had a trouble with it, until a few years ago.
yeah.
But
Yeah, well, the next one over, between Hoosier and Pine, that little alley.
That one there?
Had some problems just a year or two ago with the power outage over there, and they couldn't get in down that right of way to service the utility lines. They had to cut through somebody's yard.
Yeah.
Take out part of the fence.
yeah.
That became a
Right there.
problem.
Yeah.
So that's because, and this is why I always go back to the same thing, is because of the neglect in the past 30-plus years is why we are where we're at.
Yeah.
And in order to, we have to have guidelines and things, because people do not know where their property lines are.
Yeah.
Very few people. There are very few people that do know and stuff. And it cost us 6 foot of our entire property, almost 8 foot, because of some things that happened and stuff. Simply because nobody knew where the proper line.
Yeah.
We did, because we had 3 state surveys, and still lost a good 6 foot of our property.
And I think that we're trying to be really fair with rates.
Yeah.
I think so. I think in all fairness, not only for our current residential owners, but also when that property is passed on. Because so many of them do not get a state survey. And then when you do get a state survey, okay, and you have neighbors that have lived there forever and a day, then it's like, no, that's mine.
Yeah.
And so it's, I guess we just like to do things the right way, and you will lose a foot and you gain a foot, depending, and what have you. But, even our fence is so far up that 10 foot right away.
Yeah.
We still have a couple of feet in between there, so... but not all the fence lines are straight.
Oh, there's places where it literally the right of ways of people's backyard right now. And what do? You just,
And a lot of light
yeah.
at this,
Well, and we
it's
set
not like-
that date, I think, didn't you
Yeah,
say
it's
that it was like a date and
May
said,
20 and 24. Everything after that date, we was trying to keep everything according to,
It should.
Yeah.
that way slowly, the problems go away over time. And hopefully, at least it's the thought.
A lot back then is the families bought places next to each other.
Yeah.
And property lines didn't matter.
Yeah, just like
Okay?
ours act.
Property lines didn't matter. They don't matter
That's right.
until you sell or something happens and you pass away and it
Yeah.
moves on. And that's what happened with us when Miss Allen passed away. You know, we were fine. Miss Allen and us, we were fine,
Yeah.
you know. And then after that, that's when it's like, wait a minute, you know. So, I mean, they
Okay.
almost went into
Yeah.
our bedroom. They almost took part of our house.
Yeah.
I kid you
Because
not.
things were built on the right up to the line, you know, years ago, and there's places like there's a lot of places here in town. I mean, property lines right beside the house.
Well, the properties are so narrow, but
Yeah.
they're long.
Yes.
So nobody pays attention to the width of it.
Yeah.
You know, they just, you know, and Miss Allen's house was built very narrowly on,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that over there, it's got that high density lots, you know.
But that was our experience, but we're good now. We have good neighbors and we share.
That's always good.
That's good.
So another thing is height, the height of a shed. You know,
Height is-
I think we need to define how tall a shed can be.
What is standard?
The only thing that I could find was we have some instructions for building permit requirements for like drawings and stuff, and it said that it's a single story. But there's nothing in our
For a
ordinance.
shed, you would think it would only be single story, wouldn't you?
Well, it could be, but then at the same token, you can buy a kit that can go up to where you can almost put
A loft, yeah.
you know, where you
Somebody-
can
somebody has a
put
loft.
a camper in it and stuff like that. You know, they go pretty good size up. You know, so
When I think of a loft, I think of not the whole floor, not
You can't walk up there.
Right. So it's got like
That's what it's-
an open spot above looking into the loft, you know what I mean? That it's not the total floor below, but
Right.
partial of that,
Yeah.
like half or two-thirds.
That's exactly how Zoe's shed is at her house. Because she's got like just a little bit to where she can stack stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
RV was the word that I was looking at. You can get a storage, I guess portable storage unit that can store an RV.
And that would be
Yeah.
kind of tall. It would have to be.
Which is much taller.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, when we used to go to the fire station for the thing, there is a guy that on the
Don.
left-hand side
Don.
that has that awning.
Don.
Okay, that's how high you can get a shed. And if you do that, you know, depending on where you're at, all the yards back each other and stuff, you know, that takes your view away from, you know, the rest. Depending on where it is, it can create a problem. So I don't think it should be that high.
So
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think Chris said something about 15 feet. Chris thought 15 feet was,
That's the roof, up to the roof line.
Yeah.
I mean, the top
was
part
to
of
the top of the
yeah.
roof. And then you could put a loft inside there
Yeah.
if you
Well,
wish.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unless you have a flat roof, then you don't. But, you know, usually all the people, I mean, anybody that has some kind of
Yeah,
house,
it's
the roof's flat
don't
too.
like flat roof.
No.
Yeah. So I thought what we'd do is just have a definition of a shed, and we would
What's
include
the-
all this in that
It's like,
definition.
what's the standard size of a shed that, how tall?
Mine's
I mean, because I
7
would just
feet.
wouldn't want,
That one you'd like just order, I can't buy, so I had to put it together. It's 7 feet.
but like the one that's at Woods' house, Jamie and Chris, they're set tall.
Yeah, it's pretty
Because
tall.
it's on the, it's, you know.
Yeah.
And it just
It's
came
probably
that way.
14 feet
So
tall.
that's what I was just thinking, if you could buy them that way,
Yeah.
and that's the way they come, then I wouldn't want to have to, I mean, what would he have done?
Right, you would want to get one, make it where you can't get that size.
Right, you couldn't get
Yeah, we
that.
don't want to limit
I
product.
guess we
Right.
could look at that and see what, you know, one is.
I think we can probably say, as long as it's within those guidelines.
Yeah.
Okay, anything above that,
Well, I think if we made the definition of a shed include, you know, that it's 15 feet tall, 144 square feet, that doesn't require a permit, any shed that's over that size requires a permit.
Yes,
Or any shed that doesn't meet the definition of a shed.
yeah. Yeah, it's not necessarily saying that you can't get it, you're just going to have to get a permit.
You just got to get a permit. That's right.
Yeah.
Would that
And
be?
it
that would
cleared
be-
up, that way Chris knows what the shed
Right,
and what the shed does require.
right. Now, let's say, but if you're building your own shed, which of course you can, it would kind of fall under this.
Same guideline. But
Yeah, they have a good,
Yeah, I ain't saying you can't have a floor, a lot of sheds got a floor. I mean, I don't have a floor,
Yeah.
but I got gravel.
Right.
That's my floor.
Yes,
So,
yes.
you know,
there's a good definition on here that is the common sizes of sheds and uses. A small one is anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 by 8 that has small tools, bikes, push lawnmowers, and then it goes up 10 by 12, 12 by 16, 12 by 20. And that is storage, workbenches, multiple mowers, gym, whatever. And then it goes on to the next ones. So it doesn't give me the height of the finished product, but it gives you, so, you know, even a 10 by 12 and a 10 by 16 would be, in my way of looking, that would be the standard size of a shed. I mean, a smaller one you can always go with, but
that's all of it.
it doesn't say, it does not say, but it
But
won't
we'll
take.
need to look those up, you know, for that size. Like if it's a 12 by 12, what is the tallest that they sell? Yeah, on the market.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I think we can get the height, the size, foundation type. I think we could tie all that into a definition of what a shed is that doesn't require a permit, and anything outside that definition would be one.
Okay, sheds height typically range from 6 to 12 feet tall. So that is a good range. Some of them are 6 by 8 foot gable size, and so I would say the 6 to 12 foot.
I just feel like Chris and Jamie's is high.
It's higher. They are higher
Yeah.
ones. They are higher ones.
And that doesn't count
If it's under
jacking
that
it up
12 by
off the ground.
12.
Because I feel like when they had to have it set, it had to, because he had to have something that he could drive his lawnmower up in. I feel like it, because they set it on blocks or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
so that it didn't rot the floor away.
Yeah.
I felt like it was just a little higher, because I was like, oh, that's tall.
Yeah.
And it was one that they just ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got one.
Yeah.
It's kind of tall too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got permits.
No, we didn't do it right there.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I got it. That's
There
carpet.
are taller options available, and, you know, but I think if we have a standard size that says, you know, this is what is standard for approximate, you know, anything above that, you know, then you need to require a permit. That's my personal opinion.
All right, how about the number of sheds? How many do we,
I don't think there should be more than 2.
more than 2? Do we want to let somebody have 10 sheds? I'm not saying you can't have 10 sheds. I'm saying, is there a logical reason we would have 10 sheds and not build a bigger building? Just trying to
10
avoid
shed
a
is a
permit,
city.
maybe? I mean, is,
Yeah, what I want to be careful though is not to let people use their property. That's
Right.
theirs, you know, so I gotta think about this.
That's how I kind of felt too. I don't want them to think that
We're trying to tell them what
you're trying to dictate everything.
Yeah.
We're just wanting it to clean up and be nice. But
don't we want to be restricted? I mean,
10 sheds is a little much.
so,
But, like you said,
yeah, I mean, that would require, you know, maybe a permit, is what I'm saying. You know, if you want to have more than 3 sheds,
3.
you know, maybe you need a permit.
Or start combining them.
Because we never want to see how it's going to affect property values and all this in the neighborhood.
well, and you want to think of the neighbor as well, too, as far as,
Right.
like she said, I mean, if you go and put a I don't know, if you go and put a 4 or 5 sheds out in the backyard, that's what I got to stare at. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way ours is, if I take it from our point, okay, my back door is higher because our house sits up. So even a privacy fence wouldn't take that away because my vision is further than that, you know. So I think we just, unfortunately, common sense doesn't always prevail. And, you know, what is already done is already done. I mean,
Right.
they're all grandfathered
Right.
in
That's right.
regardless of what.
Yeah, and we
We
ain't worried
just
about
want
that.
to make it more livable for everybody
Yeah.
down the road. I agree.
So, number of sheds, what we thinking, 2 or 3, and then maybe need a permit
Yeah.
to, so look at that.
Maybe we could all think about that too. For our next
And
meeting.
we can do that.
Because, I mean, there are a couple of places in town that,
And what I can do is just draft this definition up, and then we can look at it at the next meeting. And, 'cause it ain't like it's an emergency, it ain't,
no,
everybody's
Yeah.
rushing out,
That's what I was trying to
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really basically all I got about the sheds. And those are long.
no, they can't drop them. I'll go on.
drop off.
Oh, is that what?
Yep. Yeah. You almost can't see it over
Pay
there.
the water bill. Okay, well, can't think of anything else.
Okay.
Everything's kind of quiet right now in town.
I'll call Lee and talk to Lee about this and make sure, you know, what we need to do to actually get this definition in here, into the book, and, we'll have a meeting, and if you guys want, we can have one next month and get this taken care of, or we can postpone it for 2 months. What do you guys want to do?
If something comes up, I think we could have a meeting next
Just
month.
something other
Yeah.
than just
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
If not, we could wait till April, can't we?
Yeah.
okay,
All
all
right.
right, yeah, all right. Well, I'll have to advertise for a meeting, you know, so. All right, that's all I've got. Anybody else got anything?
Nope.
I don't.
Okay, well, we'll adjourn the meeting.
All right.